Hello everyone, bringing you a video today which forms the Mannequin of the Month video for July 2019, and this is a much requested subject for Mannequin of the Month, a British Army of the Rhine infantryman circa the early 1980s, and that's what we'll be looking at today. So as is usual for Mannequin of the Month, we'll start by looking at the top and then work our way down. And at the top here we have the Mark IV steel helmet. Now this has been heavily camouflaged, and the first layer of camouflage is a piece of DPM cloth worn over the helmet. It doesn't appear to be the smock hood which was sometimes used. This just appears to be a piece of DPM cloth applied and tucked in around the liner. This is as I bought it, so it's camouflaged as I purchased it. So someone did this way back when, camouflaged it up like this. On top of the DPM cloth we have a brown helmet net, and attached to this we've got various colours of scrim to add to the camouflage effect. And in addition to this, we have black bootlaces tied around, which would obviously make attaching foliage very easy to add to the camouflage effect. Moving down at the neck, the open neck of the combat smock, we have the ubiquitous scrim scarf, very commonly worn at the time. And of course, underneath this, depending on how warm it was, you might have the woolly pulley, the jersey heavy wool, and underneath that, the KF shirt, of course, khaki flannel shirt. So, on top of both of those, you then have the combat smock, and this of course is the 1968 pattern, which was the standard combat uniform at the time. This is an earlier example, one of the pure cotton variety. I believe by this point a cotton mix was also in production, but obviously the pure cotton examples would still be issued out if there was nothing wrong with them. And if you had one and you hadn't worn it out, it would still be your combat kit for the field. So that's what the mannequin is wearing here. And of course the web equipment is essentially the standard 1958 pattern. You can see the front straps of the yoke here, the two ammunition pouches, left and right. Obviously the left one supporting the bayonet for the L1A1 self-loading rifle there as well, and the standard web belt there. So now we'll go through the normal motions of moving the mannequin around and looking at each side and the back to see how the equipment is set up in full. So here we have the left hip, and you can see here the left-hand ammunition pouch, which of course includes the loops for the bayonet for the L1A1 rifle. And behind that we have the water bottle pouch, which of course contain cup, water bottle and purification tablets. That's on the left hip there. We'll carry on moving this around now and have a look at the back of the equipment. So there you can see a heavily loaded poncho roll there, and obviously the kidney pouches, but we'll move this around and have a look at those on the back. Okay, we can see the back of the mannequin here, and this is a deviation of course from the fitting instructions, the way that the 1958 pattern was intended to be worn, but very common one, and that is to have the poncho roll up above the kidney pouches. It's of course supposed to be worn underneath, and it's not being used to carry a poncho in this instance. It's actually being used to carry a Mark III, number 1 Mark III MBC suit, which was a common use of them at the time. So it's been suspended, and this is not an uncommon thing to see. It's actually been suspended from the two tabs which are used to attach the lightweight shovel or helve for the pick on the back there. Quite a common expedient method of doing this, of carrying this, that you will see in the field. I've certainly seen this done a lot in photographs. And when we move this around again, we'll look at how the side straps are taken forward to the ammunition pouches to give some extra stability. So it's quite secure on the back there. It's not going to bounce around too much. A bit more comfortable than having it flapping around lower down. Of course, now we have the conjoined kidney pouches. These, of course, are for carrying a small kit. So you're cleaning your personal hygiene items, spare socks and that sort of thing, mess tins and so on. So the two kidney pouches there, as I say, that's basically worn in standard configuration other than the poncho roll. So we'll move around now and have a look at the right hand side of the equipment. Okay, so here we have the right hand side of the equipment, and you can see here the MBC suit in the poncho roll there. And if we look here, you can see the strap being brought forward, and it clips into the loop on the top of the ammunition pouch here, which stops it flapping around at the back there. On the hip here we have the haversack, the nylon haversack for the S6 respirator, which of course is carried in there with its various accessories, the MBC gloves, the decontamination kit and so forth. So that's in there in its haversack. And that's basically it for this side of the webbing. Obviously quite a squeeze to get everything on the belt, at least I find it is, because I'm quite skinny. But as I say, it does all fit on there. So there it is, the Mannequin of the Month for July 2019, obviously British Army infantryman of the British Army of the Rhine, circa early 1980s. I've tried to make this as generic as possible. It is referenced directly from photographs, but there will be other methods of wearing the equipment and so forth which aren't covered in this video. This is, as I say, based directly off photographs. There are certainly some troops who wore everything like this, and it's not uncommon to carry the poncho roll up above the pouches like that. You may also have a second poncho roll, so there are variations to this. Obviously, looking at one mannequin in a video like this can't cover all the variations that were around at the time, but this is fairly generic and as un-alley as possible, if you excuse the term. So there it is, just bog standard infantry from the early 1980s in Europe. So I do hope you found that interesting, as I always say. If you like this sort of content, if you like the information I've presented here, then please do consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. And if you've already subscribed or you're newly subscribing, make sure you hit the little bell, the notification button, which will of course notify you when I upload future videos. There's also a Facebook and an Instagram page, which I always link in the video description. That's a good place to get in touch with me. Facebook in particular is a good place to get in touch with me if you want to drop me a private message and chat about stuff. Very willing to answer questions if I can, and always interested to chat to veterans and so forth if you've got your own stories of how you wore your kit and so forth. So get in touch with me there if you'd like to. But that's it for now. That's everything I wanted to cover in the video. So until next time, bye for now.